Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. What an exciting night it was yesterday. I mean, what a lit card of boxing. That was not even a pay-per-view event. That was more of an experience. I mean, you're talking about entertainment on steroids, entertainment on Thanos level. My God. I mean, I watched everything. I watched all the preliminaries. I watched all the bouts, all the fights. Amazing card. I know I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and have recency bias, but I don't know. I mean, I've followed boxing for quite some time, and I haven't seen a card, a pay-per-view event that was so electric. The concert by Eminem. I know certain people had an issue with that, saying, "Oh, it's too long, get to the fight." But hey, I got my money's worth. I didn't feel cheated, and it was a 80-something bucks that I spent on the pay-per-view event. It was well spent. Oh my God, it was a great card. All the fights that I saw were good. I was very impressed with Raul, or I think it's Rayo, not Raul, but Rayo against Pitbull. He's been robbed before. There was a fight that he had against, I forgot who he fought, and he was winning the fight clearly, but I think toward the end, he kind of let his foot off the gas a little bit, thinking that he had the fight in the bag, and he was robbed in that fight. And in this fight, I was hoping that would not happen again. I have followed Rayo to a certain degree. He's a good boxer, and I want to tell you guys this. Usually when a boxer fights another boxer that's great, because you're going to garner a degree of respect for your opponent, you're going to come out sharp. You're supposed to come out sharp if you truly respect your opponent. Because if you know what they're capable of doing and the power they possess behind their punches and their movement and their awkwardness, whatever, all the things that Pitbull brings to the table, Rayo really truly respected Pitbull Cruz. And I can tell you that he did, because you can tell by the way he fought. He put out the blueprint on how to beat Pitbull. And it's not easy though, because Pitbull kept coming, but the way that Rayo would pivot out of the way, use his footwork, duck, head movement. Did Rayo get hit with blows? Of course he did. It's a boxing match, but he did not get pounded to the point where it would cause him to either A, get knocked out, or wear him out to the point where he loses unanimously on the cards. I could see where Pitbull is coming from, because to the naked eye, it seemed like Pitbull won because he was coming in aggressive. But man, watch the fight again. Watch how Rayo was just picking him apart, catching him, intercepting Pitbull. As Pitbull will come in with that style when he comes in with, you would see Rayo just counter. It was a beautiful fight. Mikal, I think the guy from Congo, the heavyweight that beat Big Baby. You know, there's Big Baby Miller and there's another Big Baby. I forgot the other Big Baby's name, but that guy from the Congo demolished him. People say he reminds them of George Foreman. I guess so, but this guy has a impactful punch. It's not aesthetically pleasing at all to the naked eye. If you see it, it's ugly. He doesn't look like he's in shape. He looks like he just rolled out of bed and said, "Come on, give me some gloves, let's go." He didn't look apart. Like if you look at him, you don't look at him like a person that's going to impose his will, but you get in the ring with that guy and he hits you a couple of times, you're like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" He rocked his opponent, Big Baby. Not Big Baby Miller, but the other Big Baby. I just don't know his name. He rocked him. Dropped him like 4 times, I believe. And it was a good, man, the whole event was nice. I learned a lot about Crawford too, against Masvidal. And people talking about, see, the thing is, the one thing that I hate about the casual boxing fan, or even people who don't deem themselves to be casuals, when you see the dominance of one fighter in one division and he moves up, you cannot expect the guy to just walk up into a new division that's bigger in weight, and you assume that he's going to assert the same dominance that he had in the previous weight class. It's not going to happen. And need I remind you guys, Masvidal is actually a reputable component. He's somebody to be respected. Good fighter, great amateur pedigree. He's great. So people watching the fight, oh, you know, Crawford, he's gonna have problems if he tries to go up to fight Canelo. I don't think so. I think that let Crawford, he doesn't have that much time. I understand his Father Time is probably kicking in. I say that if he fights one more fight in 154, in the 154 pound division, let him fight one more fight, at max 2 more, and then fight Canelo. I think right now he tested the water. He understands that in the upper weight classes, of course, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. It's going to be harder to put guys down. Guys are going to be much stronger with their blows, with their hits, because they're bigger, they're stronger. But one advantage that I see that Crawford has over his opponents is his foot speed, his hand speed, his hand-eye coordination, his ability to pick you apart. He's a thinker in the ring, and he dictates the fight. I saw Madrimov try to dictate the fight with a lot of feints, but he wasn't doing much. You can feint all the way to the cards and lose. You'll feint yourself to death. I mean, he feinted and feinted. He would throw one blow at a time. Hardly did he sit on his punches and throw combinations, because he couldn't. Anytime that he even thought to swing more than once, you would see Crawford just pick him apart, counter him. Crawford was very consistent with the jab, so it was clear that Crawford won the fight. Did he dominate Madrimov? I wouldn't say he dominated Madrimov, but he controlled the fight and just won the fight easily. I mean, Madrimov got some hits off, won hits. I would argue for Madrimov, in Madrimov's defense, that he landed, to me, probably more of the power punches, but maybe he didn't, because he would just throw one, and if he would when he would land like a good left or a good right, it seemed like, whoa, he landed a big shot on Crawford, because the standard for Crawford is so high that if he gets hit flush, it's like, oh my God. But we understand what Crawford is about. He's willing to exchange and take the risk, and he usually is known for taking hits. If you look at the fight that he fought against Sean Porter, if you look at the fight, look at his previous fights, he's been knocked down before. So he does put himself in harm's way to a certain degree, because he wants to fight. He invites the fight. He doesn't shy away from it. But Madrimov was very patient, and I think that's what made people think that well, I'm not hearing people say that Madrimov won, but I'm hearing people say that Crawford didn't dominate. I mean, the guy has had 11 straight fights prior to this of knocking his opponents out or knocking them down, and he didn't get that in this fight. And I think that's a good thing. It's good for him to respect the weight class and have a couple of fights in the weight class before he fights Canelo. Now, some of you guys may be like, that may be too late. He'll be 39, almost 40 by that time. By the time he does that. But we understand the current climate of sports medicine and how people are able to extend their careers. We're seeing it in football. We're seeing it in basketball with LeBron James. We're seeing that in your 30s is almost the 20s. Like if you're in your late 30s, you have to look at it like you're in your late 20s. And if you're 40, you have to look at 40 like it's the new 30. I don't believe that. Of course, I pushed it. Of course, if you're 40, it's 40. But I don't think that the 40-year-old boxer of years past is not the 40-year-old boxer today, because of nutrition, science, the things that we are exposed to in our current contemporary sports realm. I think that people are more exposed to things that are going to extend their careers and give them a longer stay in the sport. So, yeah, I loved it. I loved every fight. I mean, and yesterday was a great day because I was able to cook. I was cooking while watching. I cooked cauliflower pizza from scratch, and I was able to do that, and it was a joyful occasion because I was watching something, being entertained, and making cauliflower pizza from scratch is not, I'm not saying it's hard, but it does take time. It's not, it's not just, put it in the oven, it's over. You have to create it. You have to squeeze out the cauliflower rice and make sure that it's dry. You have to add your ingredients. You have to mix. It's all sorts of stuff going that you have to do to make sure that you make that pizza. But I made it, and it was good. And I watched the fight while eating it. It was awesome. And it was a great experience, man. I loved the card, man. I loved the card. I think this is one of the, I can say, in all my years of, not that I've ordered every pay-per-view fight, but in all my years of following boxing and the pay-per-view events that I have ordered, this by far, without a doubt, was the best pay-per-view event ever. It was an experience. It wasn't even an event, like I said. It was an experience. I mean, Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, all the celebrities that were out there, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I think Crawford, he did a phenomenal job. I think people's expectations sometimes gets the best of them because we just foresee him coming in there and just walking Madrimov down. And look at them. Madrimov is the bigger guy. But the faster puncher and the more accurate puncher and the person who had the more snap to his jab was Crawford. Crawford clearly beat him. Now you might not be happy by the way that he did it. And I've also heard people say, well, Crawford took hits. Had a guy tell me, well, Crawford took hits. If Boots was in there with Madrimov and he took hits, you guys would say that he's allowed himself to get hit too much. But there's a difference in the way both get hit. A lot of the times, Boots Ennis has the athletic gifts to dodge those hits, but he chooses not to. Now, I'm not saying Crawford does not have the athletic gifts to get out of the way, but it seems like Crawford, he gets hit in trying to set his opponent up. It's almost like a low risk or high risk, high reward. Like, I'm going to put myself in harm's way just for a little bit so I can get you. Whereas Boots, being the younger boxer, and to me being a little bit more athletic, I often think that he doesn't have to take the punishment that Crawford oftentimes exposes himself to. I think they're two different boxers. And of course, if Boots fought Madrimov with the kind of hits that Boots gets exposed to, Madrimov would have finished Boots. He would have knocked him out. He would have knocked him out. He would have knocked him out. Cleanly knocked him out. Madrimov is not an easy guy. You saw what he pushed Crawford to 12 rounds. He never once had shaky legs or put in a position where he sort of temporarily lost his equilibrium. He was always intact. He was always in balance. Yeah, he got hit with some punishing shots, a couple of uppercuts here and there. And Crawford took some big hits too. But overall, man, everything was nice. Everything was lit. From all the preliminary fights, I loved it. Even Andy Cruz, his fight when he knocked out Morano, I think that's his name. Oh my God, amazing! It's a great time to be a boxing fan, I believe, and I can't wait to the next fights. I want to see Shakur and Tank. If not Shakur and Tank, even if it's Shakur and Zepeda, that's also fine with me too. I'm just ready to see boxing. I'm just ready to see Turki Al-Sheikh and see what he's gonna do with especially with Matchroom, just making these fights. Because what you have to do is ride the wave. When it's hot, you got to ride it. And it's been a while. 5 years ago, boxing wasn't as hyped up as it is today. And I think that the things that Turki Al-Sheikh is doing, a well-deserved a ceremony too, well-deserved Hall of Fame plaque that he received for his contributions to boxing. Because without him, I'm not saying boxing would be dead, but boxing wouldn't be where it is today. And I'm very thankful for him that he's making boxing great again. And I can't wait to see the next events as they unfold. All right, man. Leave a comment, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Was this pay-per-view event one of the best pay-per-view events of all time? I think it is, in terms of the totality, not just the main event. I'm talking about from everything, every fight, the preliminary, all the fights, all in one. The ambiance, the experience, just everything. The kind of energy that place gave. I think it was great. I think it was an experience. And tell me what you guys think. Give me your opinions. If you think that this was a great event, or do you think it was just another pay-per-view event and it wasn't worth your $80? But I thought my money was well spent. I got my money's worth. All right, guys. Thank you. To the next time. Peace.